the Watchers of the Dunes. I first started talking to Christina years ago. We met through mutual friends, and what started as casual interactions, commenting on each other's Snapchat stories, slowly turned into something more. After a while, I decided to bite the bullet and ask her out on a date. It was mid-July, the perfect season for outdoor adventures. Given the weather, our options were plenty. A park, a hike, maybe even a trip to the beach. There was a particular beach I frequented, a secluded spot where trucks were allowed to drive onto the sand, provided they had the right permits. Even today, I still visit that place with my pickup truck. That evening was ideal. Neither of us had work the next day, so we decided to have a beach bonfire with a couple of drinks. It was a weeknight, past 8 o'clock, so I knew we'd have the place to ourselves. Privacy made it the perfect first date. Christina lived only 5 minutes away from me. I picked her up, and we made a quick stop at a 7-Eleven to grab firewood and other essentials before heading straight for the beach. I had never started a fire before, and though I felt slightly nervous about it, the idea seemed foolproof on paper. We drove along the sandy trail that led to the beach. It was a decently long path, and eventually, we reached a fork in the road. Almost everyone who came here turned right towards the main beach, but I preferred the left path. It led to a lesser-known, smaller, and more private section. That night, I chose left. When we arrived, we were completely alone. I turned on my truck's brights, scanning the length of the empty shore. No other vehicles. Just us. I pulled my truck up onto a small sand hill and parked. Then we started unloading. I dug a hole to place the firewood, arranged some smaller sticks for kindling, and attempted to start the fire. 20 minutes later, I had to admit defeat. No flames, no warmth, just embarrassment. But we laughed it off and settled into the darkness, sipping our drinks. The sound of waves rolling onto the shore was the only thing we heard, until Christina broke the silence. "Do you hear that?" she whispered. I stopped and listened carefully, shifting my focus. It was faint at first, but unmistakable, a whistling sound. It wasn't a bird, nor was it the wind. It was rhythmic, deliberate. Someone was whistling. Christina and I exchanged uneasy glances. The sound was unnervingly close. Uneasy. I climbed into my truck and turned on the headlights. The moment the beams flooded the landscape, Christina let out a sharp scream. At the top of the sand dune, just above my truck, a man was hurrying out of the tall beach grass. His back was turned to us, and in an instant, he disappeared into the shadows. My stomach dropped. He had been watching us. "Get lost!" I shouted. Ignoring Christina's plea to stay put, I ran up the small hill to follow him. But as soon as I reached the top, he was gone. Tall grass stretched endlessly around me. He could have been hiding anywhere. I pulled out my phone, using its flashlight to scan the area. A sharp whistle pierced the night, this time only a few feet away. "Come back to the truck," Christina begged, her voice shaking. I hesitated, but then I heard another sound, a soft humming, coming from the same area. Someone was deliberately trying to scare us. I hurried back down the hill and started throwing everything into the bed of my truck. The second I climbed inside, I killed the headlights and started the engine. We waited. The air was thick with tension. My gut told me that whoever was hiding in the grass would want to check if we had really left. And I was right. I turned the headlights back on for just a second. A man's face appeared in the grass, watching us. The instant the lights hit him, he ducked back into hiding. My entire body tensed. I wanted to get out, to confront him, to fight. But Christina grabbed my arm. "What if he's armed?" she whispered. "Let's just go." She was right. I slammed the truck into reverse and drove off the beach, constantly checking my mirrors, making sure we weren't being followed. That was the tensest, scariest drive of my life. I don't know who that man was. I don't know what he wanted, but nothing about that encounter was normal. When I was younger, my family rented a beach house for a summer weekend. What was meant to be a fun getaway was cut brutally short. Our first day there was spent enjoying the ocean and grabbing dinner at a local restaurant. That night, my brother Joey and I had the idea to slide down the sand dunes using pieces of cardboard we found in the rental house. The dunes were steep, perfect for our makeshift sleds. Our parents were fine with us going out as long as we didn't stray too far from the house. We found the highest hill and took turns sliding down. It was fun, until Joey, standing at the bottom of the hill, called out, Tyler, what is that? I followed his gaze toward the ocean. Something was floating in the water. A dark object, barely visible beneath the moonlight's reflection. We were unnerved but too scared to investigate. Instead, we moved further down the beach to another hill. After sliding down again, I glanced back at the water and froze. The object was still there. Or worse, it had moved. I shouted for Joey to look again. He did, and as soon as he saw it, he scrambled up the hill in fear. We debated what it could be, and eventually convinced ourselves it was just driftwood. Then it started to rise. We stood paralyzed as a human figure emerged from the water. A man had been standing there the entire time, submerged up to his head, watching us. We ran. We bolted to the house, slamming the door behind us, screaming for our parents. Our dad checked the beach but saw no one, dismissing our panic as an overactive imagination. Later that night, our mother's terrified scream shattered the calm. We rushed into the living room, only to be met with the horrifying sight of a naked man standing on our backyard deck, smiling and waving. Our father threatened to call the police. The man banged on the glass door, sending our mother into another scream. My dad called 911, and we listened to the operator as the man continued grinning at us. Minutes passed. The knocking stopped. Police flooded the property. To this day, my parents believe it was a drugged-out predator. But even 12 years later, that night still haunts me. Yes, we left the beach house. Immediately. We never went back. There are strange things at the beach. Not just the endless waves and shifting sands, but the people, the ones who watch, who hide, who wait. And you never know their intentions until it's too late.